everyone, my name is Vina, aka Miss WOC Reader, and welcome back to my channel, and welcome to my June TBR. So I know it's a little late for a TBR video. I kept debating on whether I wanted to make one because TBRs can be good in that they hold me accountable, and I normally do follow a TBR just because I read a lot of ARCs. I try to read them by the date in which I receive them for the most part, like when they're going to publish, but it doesn't always happen that way. I do make the TBR to keep myself accountable. However, I'm always hesitant to post it online because I always end up missing one book, and then I kind of feel bad, like I really should have gone to this month, but something slowed me down. So I actually do have a lot of books that I want to read in June, and I'm going to try my hardest to get them all read. This is not a complete list. I'm sure I'm missing like one or two, but I'm going to start by talking about the ones that I already finished, because it's really been the month of carryover books that I wanted to read for a while too, that I did not get to. So there were 3 books that I've already finished and carried that were carryovers into the month of June. So the first one is Onyeka and the Academy of the Sun. This is a middle grade fantasy. It is by Tola Akogu, and she is a British Nigerian author, and our main character, her name is Onyeka, and she is British Nigerian. She has this hair that's like very long and hard to manage, and she doesn't understand why her mother always makes a big fuss about it. She also doesn't understand why it always feels like they're on the move. And then one day she's at like a pool party or something, and she saves her friend from drowning using her hair, and she confronts her mom about it, and then they get in this argument. Her emotions get kind of out of control, and that's when her mother tells her she has these special psychokinetic powers, and that she is a Solari, which is a group of like superpowered people who aren't really human, and they're only in Nigeria. So they end up going to this small village in Nigeria where she meets other Solari, and her mom leaves her at this academy where she's going to learn how to control her powers. And while she's doing that, her mom is going to be away tracking down her father. So this was a good read. It wasn't my favorite middle grade fantasy. It's actually very standard. There's not a lot of twists. I think it's going to be good for the beginner fantasy readers because you can easily guess the villain from the time he shows up on page. And the magic system is very, very simple. Like, this was comped to Black Panther, I think only because everybody's black and like African-esque. It's really nothing like Black Panther. I'd actually compare it more to X-Men. But it is a magic school, so I know inevitably people are going to compare it to Amari and the Night Brothers. This is nothing like Amari and the Night Brothers. And all the like magic school books I've read so far with Black girls have all been completely different. So far I've read this one, Amari and the Night Brothers, and Wild Seed Witch, and then I have Jails like coming up in the next couple months on my TBR. And everything has a completely different premise and completely different powers, and just like the tone and vibes of everything is different, which I really appreciated because we're not completely the same. But overall, I think this is a good one for like beginner fantasy readers or middle grade. It's very quick read, so I think they'll enjoy it. So the next one that I finished was Battle Royale, and this is a graphic novel. I received a finished copy from Abram Books, and I like that the illustrations in it. The illustrations are very nice, and one of the things I like too is that it has recipes in it. Like, It follows these teens who are taking part of a baking competition. Our main character wants to earn money so that she can go to the college of her dreams, and she kind of ropes her best friend in because his mother is desperate to save her restaurant because it might go out of business. And along the way, throughout the competition, they have some arguments, but they recognize that they have these feelings for each other. And it was cute. I like the little recipes that were scattered throughout, but it was a little bit surface level for me. This is YA, so I feel like we could have gone a little deeper because it was just like it was reading a little more simplistic. So our main character's parents are like arguing all the time and they're dealing with a separation, but you don't get enough of that on page, and it's not like really dealt with too much. It's like always at the side a little bit. We could have gone a little deeper there. This is a reality show competition, so you'd think you'd have all the drama of like a reality show, because we know that's why we watch. But despite there being an antagonist who was causing trouble here and there, it wasn't like a lot of drama. So I felt like with the reality show premise, even though this is a graphic novel, so it's a lot shorter, there could have just been a little more done. So it was cute. It just like, it was a very cute story, but it could have been a little bit more. And then the next book that I finished during the month was What a Match by Mimi Grace. It was my first Mimi Grace romance, but definitely not my last. So it just gave me all the fall, like autumn feels and vibes, like especially when they went to like the little fall fest. I really thought that was cute. It follows this boxer who owns a gym. His apartment has a heating issue, so he asks like the co-owner of the gym if he can stay with him, and he's like, nah, like we're doing all these renovations, it's not safe for you, you can stay with my sister for a while. So he's had a long-term crush on the sister, but she was in a good long relationship, so he never really talked to her like that. And at first he's trying to avoid her. And then because close proximity, of course, they end up like having to talk to each other and, you know, really are feeling each other. She just got out of a long-lasting relationship, so she is looking for the one, and she's using this matchmaking service, going on all these different dates, trying to find the guy for her. Super cute story, great read, highly recommend, and I will be checking out more of Mimi Grace. So then let's talk about the books that I have yet to get to. So I didn't actually plan it like this, but a lot of my books for June are actually queer books, so I really appreciate that. So the first one is one that I'm very hyped for. I've been reading a lot more adult fantasy, and this one just sounds so interesting and different. It is Ballad of Perilous Graves, and this is an ARC that I received from Orbit. One cool thing that they did is put in like this promotional brochure. So it says, "Welcome to NOLA." And it's just like one of those brochures they give you at like travel centers, or like sometimes depending on like what hotel you're in, you'll see them in the corner. It says, "Rules for living in NOLA. Dance in the streets when the jazz songs appear. Avoid the floating graffiti. Never ask what year it is." And then I was saying that in more arcs I want to see a map, and look at this map, y'all. This is so cute. And then it just has like a little glossary of different terms that you're going to hear throughout the book. Even one thing that they did was like they put like these little advertisement type things for restaurants like you'd see in a real brochure. So I thought that was really adorable. Shout out to Orbit for making great promotional material. And Nola is a city full of wonders, a place of sky trolleys and dead cabs, where haints dance the night away. Wise women keep the order, and songs walk, talk, and keep the spirit of the city alive. To those from away, Nola might seem strange. To failed magician Perilous Graves, it's simply home. Then the rhythm stutters. 9 songs of power have escaped from the magical piano that maintains the city's beat, and without them, Nola will fail. Unexpectedly, Perry and his sister Brendy are tasked with saving the city. But a storm is brewing, and the haint of all haints is awake. Even if they capture the songs, Nola's time might be coming to an end. So yeah, I will let you guys know how Ballad of Perilous Graves is. Hoping it's really good. And then my next one is Bad Things Happen Here, which is a YA thriller. I have spoken before about how I'm not a fan of the black YA thrillers publishing has been releasing lately because they're all very racism focused, to the point where racism is both the plot and a main character. I never feel like I get to know the main characters, and I feel like they just go through a lot of trauma with no support in the most unrealistic way. Not that thriller is ever wholly realistic, but they don't feel like characters. They feel like tools to explain racism. So I was very happy when Simon & Schuster reached out to me about this, because this one was not on my radar. I didn't know that Black author wrote it, and then it has a different setting, and there was no mention of racism in the synopsis, which I really appreciate. So it says, Luca Lane Thomas lives on a cursed island. To the outside world, Paris is an exclusive, idyllic escape. But there's nothing idyllic about its history, scattered with the unsolved deaths of young women that Paris society happily ignores to maintain its polished veneer. But Luca can't ignore them. Not when the curse that took them killed her best friend Polly. Not when she feels it lingering nearby, ready to take her next. When Luca comes home to police cars outside of her house, she knows the curse has visited once again. Only this time it took Whitney, her sister. Luca decides that the only way forward is to take the investigation of Whitney's death into her own hands. But as a shocking betrayal rocks Luca's world, identifying Whitney's killer is the only truth Luca seeks. And by the time she finds what she's looking for, Luca will come face to face with the curse she's been running from her whole life. So doesn't that sound like really interesting and different? So hopefully it's a good one. And then right now I'm reading Zyla and Kai, which is Christina Forrest's new book, and it's really cute so far. I always expect greatness from Christina Forrest. She just does YA romance so well. Like, I had spoken previously before about how sometimes I'm reading these YA romances and they feel so old, like the author wrote it for their teen self versus the teens of today. And the last few YA romances I was reading, like by black authors, were full of outdated references, like lots of 90s movie references, like Love Jones, lots of old music references, not a lot that felt young, and they were kind of overloaded with pop culture. I like that Christina Forrest knows how to use pop culture well, where she does mention some things, but it doesn't overwhelm you. And the stuff she mentions is recent stuff that the teens would actually be talking about. So this follows 2 kids who meet at an amusement park while working there and kind of fall in love. And I have high hopes for it. Sorry for the loud noise with the airplane. I don't know if you can hear it. The airport is not that far from us. It's not a passenger airport. I forget what kind of planes that it does, but it's not like passenger planes, but we'll constantly get like airplanes flying overhead, especially now because it's warm out. So I just had to check my phone to see what other ones I'm reading for the month of June, because there's a couple more on my list, like I said, I'm being a little bit more ambitious this month, but hopefully not too ambitious. And the Final Strife is on my list. I've really been highly anticipating this, although I feel like it's going to read a little bit similarly to some stuff I've read recently. It's an adult fantasy. It's like African and Arabic inspired, and basically what's happening is there are these trials to find the next ruler of the kingdom. And yeah, it just sounds like a lot of fun. I feel like the vibes are going to be very violent and brutal, but hopefully it's a good read. And then the next one that I plan on reading is A Proposal They Can't Refuse, which is a rom-com novel by Natalie Kana. It does have a Puerto Rican main character who is a chef and an Irish-American whiskey distiller. It's rom-com, so I just expect happy antics. I'm always a little nervous when I see the word rom-com because I feel like there's either no laughter at all, or there's a lot of attempts at telling jokes, but they're very forced and it makes it like uncomfortable and cringy. But I have hopes for this one. Maybe it'll be something cute. And that's everything that I can think of reading for the month of June. May or may not slip another book in there. We never know. There's always like something that deviates from my TBR. But if you like this video, make sure and hit that like button. Stay subscribed for similar videos like it. And as always, thanks so much for watching. I will check in with you guys soon. Bye!